Yeah.
And your Denancy is going to raise people's temperatures a few degrees, I would think.
Somebody who knows a little bit about cut and pica. Let's bring him on here to Chef Peter Duenas, of course, of the Mescla family of restaurants. So, Chef, I thought that was kind of funny in that GVB video. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's for the tourists, and they were basically saying, don't eat anything spicy because then when we temperature scan you, you might come in a little hot. So how many doni have you had this morning, Chef?
About 5.
Oh, it's a slow morning.
Breakfast, standard breakfast.
Right. Let's just get right into it. So these airmen who violated their orders, which of your restaurants did they go to? And then if you could just take us to the beginning, did Public Health call you guys and notify you before they released your business name out to the island of Guam?
Actually, we were notified. We were notified there was a possibility that one of the individuals came to Mezcla Dos, our hamburger location.
Yeah.
And apparently they did come in on June 9th for a takeout order, and basically they ordered. And they went outside. The order was ready. We brought it out to the guys, and with talking with Public Health, we were listed as low risk, meaning since the pandemic, our guys have been practicing all the protocols that we put in place, and together with the governor's mandates, and just overall practicing super safe sanitary procedures during the shift. So all our guys are wearing masks, they're wearing gloves, they're sanitizing their hands frequently, and there's minimal direct contact with the guest. With that said, this apparently happened on June 9th.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were told, and none of us are sick. I mean, that's 15 days ago.
Right.
So, and I was actually there on that day training
Wow.
my guys that same exact day. And all our guys are fine, thankfully, and thanks to all the sanitary practices that we do, and the training that we do. We're minimizing any risk of our staff getting sick, therefore not spreading it to our guests.
Mm-hmm.
And so, people that are listening, you should feel safe that we are, practicing these special procedures to ensure not only to our guests, but our staff is important to us. And if we don't want our staff to get sick, we definitely don't want our guests to get sick. So, our good friends, even at KUAM, Eli and Marie Bonch, they're frequent, they're regulars at Mestados. They order takeout all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, they also share some health ailments, and, they feel comfortable eating at Mestados because we practice safe and sanitary procedures.
And you got some killer burgers too.
Right.
And that's why we do these measures, right, Chef? Is so in the event there is some type of exposure, we're all masked up, gloved up, and I think that's a good takeaway. We had the medical director for public health, and they seem to think, although I believe it's a little premature to say, that we could have dodged a major bullet here. And I want to give these establishments credit. I don't know if that's premature, but because you're right.
I think what she said also was the fact that most of the dates that we're looking at when these airmen visited these establishments, the incubation period, infectious period is already expired because if you look at it, it's June 9th, and for I think Chef Peter, yours was the 10th, then you add the 14 days, so we're a little bit past that. So
yeah.
So, if there was a surge in results, we obviously didn't see that from the testing, at least that was conducted.
Yes, and thankfully, there a lot of the businesses that are open now are all taking their precautionary measures because no one wants to get sick, no one wants to spread the disease, and our employees are very important to us. They all have families, and of course our guests are very important to us. So we do definitely want to ensure that everything is properly sanitized and things are going smoothly with this whole pandemic, because we are a small business, a local business, and we're trying to stay open, we're trying to stay afloat, and this pandemic has definitely greatly impacted our businesses. And I speak for many when I say, restaurants are it's a very hard business in the first place, and then for something like this big bomb to drop on us, it's devastating. And we're just we're striving our best, and we're working hard towards ensuring safe and great tasting food for our guests.
Yeah, well, I certainly do wish you guys the best of luck as we start to reopen tourism next week Wednesday, because I know that Mesclados is a very popular spot, and you're right there, so you can have like tourists walking up, going to Kmart, and so probably dropping in, and there's no testing or anything for these tourists that are going to be coming to visit. So
are you cool with that, Chef?
Well, that's a tough question there, Chris.
It is, I know. That's why I asked it.
Yeah.
I'm not cool with a lot of things these days, but I mean, what can we do?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not cool with the whole 50% occupancy in the restaurants, and I'm not cool with a lot of the different procedures, but it's just things that we have to adhere to ensure safety. Right. And the tourists come in. I believe that places like Japan, Korea, and Taiwan, they are going above and beyond what I consider to be sanitary, right? Yeah. These guys are spraying out on the streets, trying to kill stuff in the air, right, on the streets and on the sidewalks and windows. I mean, they're pretty crazy, but I think for the most part, those guys are totally in line with the whole social distancing and wearing masks. I mean, these guys, they still had some freaking some trauma and some PTSD from the SARS days that a lot of the tourists were still wearing masks up until the point of this new pandemic.
Right.
And so I think it's even 1,000 times worse.
If we're going to get any tourists, the Asians are the most in tune with wearing the masks and all that stuff.
Exactly.
So I got you.
Exactly.
Okay, Chef, we got to run along and finish the show, but just wanted to get you on to get your perspective. What are you anticipating for business today, and how's takeout been going for you guys? We've eaten takeout a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was a soft day yesterday. Let's just say that, with all the social media going around and all the hearsay about the different restaurants that were that come in contact. But I think business will be normal, the new normal.
Right.
And I hope that our locals that love to eat at Mesclados will take everything in stride, and hopefully they'll be in to get their fix on our burgers and barbecue.
Come on in, the Tenatla's fine.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Chef.
Thanks, Chef.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Wash your
hands.
hands.
Care.
Okay. So.
All right, bye.
10 a.m. We're going to end the show on a good note, but before we do, we also had a message here from our friends at the Outback.
Right. This is from Outback. We are aware that Outback has been listed by Public Health along with other establishments on island as part of their investigation and contact tracing efforts regarding a COVID positive customer that may have visited our restaurant on June 10th and 11th. We are following all directives and testing protocols from DPHSS, including testing of all employees. Currently, there are no positive cases amongst our staff. Outback considers the health and well-being of its employees and customers our highest priority and will continue to take every precaution possible to prevent the spread of COVID-19, including daily employee wellness and temperature checks and fully sanitizing all our contact areas and dining areas after every customer. And that again is from Outback Steakhouse.
Right, and I thought it was very interesting how Chef Peter, I thought he was going to go one way with the, he's not cool with the 50%, he's not cool with that, but at the end of the day, what'd he say? It is what it is. It's what